does no touch mean no cueing? This educational video is intended to draw attention to the problem of facilitator cueing in a technique called facilitated communication, or FC, also known as spelling to communicate, S2C, and rapid prompting method, RPM. The claim. Tracy Kedor and her son Ido wrote a book using FC called Ido in Autism Land. In it, Tracy claims that with FC, her son learned to excel at a regular academic curriculum.
Then I was taught to touch letters to communicate, first on a letterboard, then tablet, allowing me to excel in a regular academic curriculum.
Tracy started working with her son by holding onto his wrist to write or type, but then moved to holding the letterboard in the air during the typing activity. After meeting with skepticism, even by her husband, and being warned by educators that FC is problematic because of facilitator cueing, she later taught her son to select letters on a stationary keyboard as well, further deepening her belief in FC. Tracy believes that if she does not touch her son, she cannot influence letter selection. This belief is shared by other facilitators as well, making S2C and RPM increasingly popular variants of FC. The question: can facilitators cue their clients to interact with a letterboard without physically touching them? Example 1. In this first example from 2013, Tracy works with her son on a stationary keyboard.
Do you think that other people, other nonverbal autistic kids and people, can learn to type like you did?
Is.
It is.
There appears to be at least two ways the facilitator cues her son without physically touching him. First, by shifting her weight and casually dropping her hand onto the table within his peripheral range, quite possibly to signal it is time to type. She also appears to move her head back and to the left, presumably to see the letterboard more clearly. If her son is typing independently, why would Tracy need to see the keyboard? In addition, she appears to be providing hand signals to indicate letter selection. She opens and closes her hand as her son selects letters. The hand gestures also appear to signal where on the keyboard to touch. Left, right, up, down.
Is.
It is.
If these hand gestures and shifts in body position are not facilitator cues, then what other purpose do they serve? Example 2.
Ito's mother noticed signs he could spell.
We were working on his birthday party invitations, and he couldn't hold his own pencil, so I had to hold my hand over his hand. And as we were doing this, I started feeling the pencil moving under my hand.
Despite the fact that her son may be independently moving his hand toward the letterboard, it also appears Tracy is moving the letterboard in the air to aid in letter selection. She may not be fully aware of this action. His finger movements appeared somewhat loose and random. What letters was he selecting? These stills indicate that the only letters clearly touched were I and S. Most of the time, his finger appeared to touch near, but not on, the letters. Assuming the letters he approximated were the intended targets, the word he spelled out was DITSFGMRJ. Example 3. Tracy's son, now older, is shown using a stationary keyboard. Although the scene from the original video is very quick and the news logo is in the way, Tracy appears to gesture with her head to signal letter selection. Here is the same clip, slowed down. Example 4. 7 years after Ito in Autism Land was published, Tracy still needs to be within visual and auditory range of her son when he types.
Then I was taught to touch letters to communicate, first on a letterboard, then tablet, allowing me to excel in a regular academic curriculum.
She continues to hold the letterboard in the air for him. It even looks like he steps back slightly as she pushes the letterboard toward his finger. And again, the edit in the original video was quick, but it appears her head movement syncs with his hand movement. How is that independent? Recap and conclusion. Proponents of all types of FC claim that they are not providing cues for letter selection, and that the facilitated messages are quote-unquote independent. This is particularly true for facilitators who hold a letterboard in the air, often referred to as S2C or RPM instead of FC. But as we've seen in these examples, facilitators can influence interaction with the letterboard with or without physical touch. These cues include, but are not limited to, hand signals, changes in vocal inflection, shifts in body position, head movements, moving the board in the air. In addition, facilitators may misjudge letter selection. As their client's finger moves rapidly over the letterboard, but touches in between letters, not directly on them. Most facilitators are well-meaning and unaware of the extent to which they control letter selection, even from a distance. The science. To date, there is no scientifically rigorous evidence to prove facilitated communication, spelling to communicate, rapid prompting method, or any of their variants produce independent communication. Controlled studies show that facilitators, not their clients, are producing the typed messages. Many organizations oppose the use of facilitator-reliant techniques. These include, but are not limited to, American Speech Language Hearing Association, American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, American Psychological Association, Association for Behavior Analysis, Association for Science and Autism Treatment. FC is not science. For more information, check out our website at facilitatedcommunication.org.